All right, 5:30. Calling the meeting to order. Thank you all for being here for our September 3rd, 2025 North Greenwood Citizens Advisory Committee meeting. I humbly request that you place your phones on silent. And I would like to introduce myself. My name is Kennard Robinson. I am the chair of the committee, and I would like for my fellow committee members to introduce themselves, starting with Member McKinney.
I'm Patrick McKinney. I'm with the Francis Wilson Playhouse, and I have an honor of being on this committee.
Awesome, thank you.
I am Kimberly Crawford, the Executive Director of the Little Harster Health and Wellness Center.
Marilyn Turman, Vice Chair, also a member of the Clearwater Urban Leadership Coalition.
Awesome, thank you. Vicki, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Vicki Shires, Division Manager.
Awesome, thank you, thank you. All right. So, first item on the agenda is the approval of our previous meeting minutes. Are there any corrections, anything to state before we move to a motion? All right, seeing none, can I have a motion to agree?
Sure. Kimberly Crawford, I move that we accept the minutes as printed.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded by Member Turman. Is there any discussion at all? Nope. All right, so all in favor to approve? Any opposed? Seeing none? Motion passes. So next item on the agenda, are there any citizens that would like to bring anything forward to the committee?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Morgan Juarez. I am with Impact of San Jose, and I work with the Florida Neighborhood Family Center, and they're located right in this building. And we're looking for a building in this community. So I know it's CRA, so I'm looking forward to networking with you guys and seeing how we can all it.
Awesome, thank you.
It open.
Sure.
Excuse me, Beth. You said you're looking for a building for the actual program?
Yes, so we're looking to find a building in this area code so we can stay a higher one.
And approximately how many are involved in the program?
So right now we have 35 kids and we have 10 staff.
For the Baker Family Center?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Oh.
Florida Neighborhood Family Center.
All right, what's the time frame?
So within possibly before next summer. So yeah, possibly.
Between?
I have a question. You mentioned Impact. I know Clearwater Neighborhood Family Center. Impact, I'm not familiar with that. Can you tell us?
That's the brokerage I'm with, Impact Realty.
Oh, okay, I got you. I see what you're saying. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other members from the community? Awesome. All right, thank you. So seeing none, we'll move on to the next item of the agenda. New business items. So it looks like we have a presentation from Amber Bryce to discuss the Art Oasis World Festival. Is that all right?
Yep.
All right. Awesome. The floor is yours.
Hello, good evening. My name is Amber Bryce. I'm the Arts and Cultural Affairs Manager for the City of Clearwater. I don't have a visual presentation, but I think that committee does have a PDF presentation that I put together. So in March 2024, the first mural festival in the CRA East Gateway downtown neighborhood of the CRA. So we brought 6 new murals to that area. We did 7 total murals in the city of Greenwood within that festival. 6 were in local businesses, and we ever since then, I really wanted to do another mural festival in North Greenwood. For one reason or another, kind of strapped just coming pushed back. I was on maternity leave for a while, so now I finally got the green light CRA to make this happen. And I really wanted to bring this to the committee, kind of gauge interest, feedback, questions, anything that you all may have. I did put some businesses on there, like proposed businesses. I just wanted to stress that I have not reached out to any businesses or business owners. Those are just some walls that I thought were highly visible in the area, looked good. You've discussed having maybe an application process. So if a business owner or property owner is interested in having a mural, they can submit an application. If you guys have questions about the process, I don't want to take my time. So if you want me to go into more detail, I can, but if you have extra questions, just let me know.
Actually, I have a couple of questions on that. Please, I read this, the artists are going to apply, to be included in this, not necessarily the businesses. Now, you look at your targets, your canvases, go this stuff. Okay.
So we need permission from the property owner is the number one thing. Obviously, we also want to have the business owner on board because they're always the same person. It is the same person, it makes it a lot easier. But the artists, we usually give an open call to artists. I'm about to do another one because we have a lot of different mural projects that we're going to do within the city of Clearwater. Just so everybody is aware, our process, the way we do it is it's on a website called Call for Entry. It's professional, artists know about it. And we always have a blind jury. So the jury doesn't know where the artist is from, their name, sex, race, age, none of that. It's always blind. We've discussed with CRA that obviously we want to maybe be more local for this selection. So adding in maybe extra points, like a work rate extra points. If you are in the Tampa Bay area, you get a certain amount of points. If you're from Pinellas County, you get a certain amount of points. If you're from Clearwater, you get an additional 3 points, something like that. Obviously, we want to have the committee or people in the neighborhood take part in the panel to select artists. We can do that. And what we usually do is we have an artist submit 3 designs, and then we bring those to the business owner. The business owner gets to decide which one they want on their business. We don't usually do a lot of back and forth. That would just take a really long time. We don't get really nitty gritty into it. It just kind of is, here are the designs. If you'd like one of these on your business, it's a free mural you have on your business. And this will bring foot traffic to these businesses. I kind of have this map up. I don't know if you all are aware, but we have started implementing what are called smart plaques in the city. So every artwork in the city, murals, sculptures, have a smart plaque on them. They have NFT technology, meaning you can hold your phone through it, and it'll bring you directly to the website to learn about the mural, when it was created, who's the artist, all of this stuff. But it also has a QR code you can scan, and it's on our map. So if you go to the map, you can hover over different things and click on a certain mural, and it'll give you a picture of the mural and everything about the artist. And so this is just another way that the eyes are going to be on the businesses that have these murals in this thing.
I'd have to quit.
So, understanding the process that you laid out, how do we make sure that the artwork, the options of artwork that's being provided are relevant?
So when we narrow it down to say the top 10 artists, we would say you've been selected as an artist for the North Greenwood Neighborhood Mural Festival. Here are some highlights of the neighborhood, and this would be a neighborhood effort. Maybe some things we want to see, or certain businesses, whatever you want the parameters to be. We obviously don't want to make it too confined because then the artist doesn't have creative expression, freedom of that. So, it could be historical figures, it can be nature, whatever you want it to kind of be focused on. And usually the artists give 3 designs that are varied enough that somebody finds something that speaks to them.
Okay, well, and that makes sense. I would just be super concerned of an artist just doing what artists do and just doing something that they think looks cool and it's not connecting with the greater community.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
that would be my primary concern.
Okay. And we can definitely narrow it down to that, because I do that with most projects. Hey, this one is kind of just open, be completely open, but libraries, it's for a library, maybe book theme, imagination theme, kids themes, different things like that. Still trying to give them creative freedom, but
Understandable.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
There's follow-up question. So if this company of mine taps the applicant, the artist, he would just submit samples of his works.
Yeah, so
They wouldn't know who he is.
correct. It's called request for qualifications. So they do submit a resume. They do submit, past examples of work, pictures, and then also like where they've done maybe a mural festival in the past. But those documents aren't available until we've kind of whittled down to the top 20, let's say. Yeah. So it's just people looking at pictures and going, I really like this work.
Yeah. I have one more question. We talked a little bit about this. I know a lot is supposed to be creative, and pretty and relevant, whatever. So they have one where there's a famous building in the area, St. Matthew's Church, I think I passed on the way in. Could you have a mural, and in part of that, they have the church with the sign of St. Matthew's on it?
So I'm not
Took a picture.
I'm not in code enforcement, but I can tell you that once you start putting names on murals, it becomes a sign, and then it has to follow sign code, and that ruins a lot of the fun a lot of the time. So
I was just thinking of this historical building somewhere.
and even that might have some, like, are we allowed to paint on it? Are we allowed to touch if it's deemed historical?
No, you
Truly.
wouldn't paint on a building. You put on, for instance, the police station, but it's a noted building within your community. And when you look at it, let's say, the example of the church, it says it right in the front what the name of the church is.
So it's like a cityscape, like
Yeah,
a
and
plaque
you put
mural.
stuff around it.
I think that's fine. That would be fine. Sure.
That's my last words.
Okay.
Which does weird.
Anybody else?
Not a question, but a comment. Since we did have the opportunity to work together with the Will Parkson Center, the mural that is there, I'm in support of murals. It seemed as though it just brought a different, I don't want to say excitement, but the colors were bright and vibrant, and so it did bring a different vibe to the clinic, especially if people hadn't been there in a while. And they said, "Oh, what is that?" So very impressed with the work. And I think it's a different project though from. I think it was different funds. I know different.
That one was a public art grant.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah.
separate. But
The outcome was really nice.
Yeah.
So my concern was what Chair Kennard was saying, Kennard Robinson was saying about the making certain that whatever the art is going to be, that it complements the community that it's placed in. And so, and you may have said this, but if you don't mind repeating this part, excuse me. So once you have selected an artist, who would be looking at those, or would there be, you talked about the different types of pieces, but to confirm or to kind of make sure that it is going to be relevant, that they don't kind of go too far off without restricting their artistic expression.
So with private property, we as a city don't have any say on what people choose to put on their building.
Okay.
So they would have full say in the art that's selected.
Okay.
For city-owned property, like I think it's even drove by. It's like a shed over there. No, it's yellow. And it's what I'm talking about on the story right here. You know it if you see it. It's
Seminole?
basically just it's
Seminole?
just like a building that they use for storage. I think the rec center does.
Back over here,
I mean, that is, in my opinion, a perfect location for a mural because it's right on the street. It's kind of just sitting in the middle of a field. We can do, and because of that, because we own it as a city, we could allow, maybe neighbors to vote. Maybe we do a neighborhood vote at this location, and then these three designs, which one do you like most? So there's definitely options to keep the neighborhood involved in city-owned property at least.
Gotcha.
I don't know how many property owners would be like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it up to whoever to decide. Questions?
I do have one more question. So I see here there's an estimated budget amount for this proposed project. So how is the payment for the artist determined? Because I would imagine different pieces of art carry different costs. So like, how do you determine what's a legitimate cost versus an inflated cost or whatever?
So for the last mural festival, and it's a great question because normally murals are done by square footage. So it's usually about $20 to $50 per artist per square foot. with the last mural festival, and they do this with Shine and St. Pete, you guys are familiar with that mural festival, they pay one set amount. And the reason for that, and we did this too, is because then you get artists that go, well, I don't want that building, because that building, I'm only getting $2,000. I want the building, then I'm gonna get $10,000. And we definitely don't want that happening. So usually we have a set amount, how big, how small, it doesn't really matter. It's
Flat
whatever
cost.
we call it, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's how we probably go about this as well.
And will it be your team that establishes whatever that flat cost is?
Yes, I think it would be with CRA, I'd have to go before the CRA board,
Okay.
say the committee approves it, or is in favor of it, and then do you approve the funds? And then we would divvy it out. And honestly, it would depend on how many businesses are interested too,
Gotcha.
because maybe that amount would go up that we'd want to ask for.
Okay. So just thinking about an overall potential timeline, right? So if everything were to move forward accordingly, what timeline would you expect to reach out to the business owners, ballparks? And you've done this before. Ballpark. What timeline are you looking to, get a certain number of artists in before the ball starts moving? Any idea?
I would like this festival to take place in February, March of next year. That would be my goal. So based on your feedback and community feedback, I would have to go to the next CRA meeting, which I guess would be November. But in October. November, but I hire a consultant. The consultant starts talking to businesses. We can open the application for the businesses now. The artist is kind of almost the last step, really. It's getting permissions from business owners, property owners, and then there's contracts and all the fun stuff that's involved in that.
I have one more question. Okay, so you're calling it a festival, I understand that. So you would have 2 months when all of this happens, all the painting is going, and then it's the festival, and at the end it would, in 2 months, and it finishes, and you have a big celebration.
It'd probably be shorter time, maybe 2 weeks.
Whatever,
3 weeks.
all the paintings.
Right.
Okay.
And then I would like there to be like a culmination event of, kind of, they're all finished and let's have a block party or let's have something. CRA can't do events. I'm a department of one, so I can't really do events. So it would be really kind of on the community to work, maybe this committee to actually spearhead that. But that would be ideal. Obviously, we want to celebrate the new murals. We want to celebrate the artists. That would be something I would love to do.
Any other thoughts, questions? Good to go. All right. Well, thank you very much. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you. You guys like it?
I do feel that it seems like everyone is in agreement, but we do need to have a motion to ultimately what we do. We'll leave with the recommendation on, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right, so need a motion to move the recommendation on for the Art Oasis Mural Festival on to the next phase. You have a motion?
Yeah, I recommend that.
Okay, all right, motion by member McKinney. Do you have a second?
A second.
Second by member Nunn Crawford. Any discussion?
What did this?
Awesome. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Saying none? Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you.
Come here.
So next item on the agenda is to review the third quarter budget amendments for fiscal year 24-25.
Step by Minnie.
Sure.
Vicki Shire, CRA Division Manager. This item before you is to review the third quarter budget amendments to the fiscal year 24-25 from the Greenwood Development Agency budget, as outlined in your agenda items below. Are there any questions at this time regarding the breakdowns?
I do have a few questions, right? So I'm seeing the increases, and that's to basically update the budget, right? As far as like the spend.
Correct. It carries over. I do apologize. Ms. Ann Lopez had a family emergency, so she's not here. So I will do my best to answer some of these questions.
Okay.
Some of the questions I may have to get back to you.
Sure.
But it says right here, increment revenue transfer as part of the current year ending closing. That's why.
Okay. And we're talking about the fiscal year.
24, 25, yes.
Yeah, okay. So one of the things that kind of jumped out at me, and I'm hoping that you can answer the question. So I'm looking at the expenditure date for from the county, so the Pinellas County increment for 374,290. You see that column 2 on the fiscal year 24-25?
What was the number again? I'm sorry.
374,290.
You'll,
That
I just rolled the picture right here.
Yes, that page right there, second column of numbers.
first number.
First thing right.
Okay,
at the top.
47343, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, 374,290. You see it?
Yes.
All right. So if we move down to the bottom to the expenses, right? I'm seeing county housing 363, 386 in blue. Mobility county 109, 613.
So,
What are those actually going to? Do you know?
So mobility is improvement, transit, walking, and biking options, and access to transit.
Okay.
And then the housing for county is, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
That's fair.
So I can get that question back to you, but housing money has to be spent towards, I believe, like infrastructures or stuff like that, but I will get that question to you, that answer to you.
Okay. The primary reason why I'm asking the question is because we're receiving 374,290 from the county, but we're paying more than that back to the county by dollars interest. So,
I wrote that question down and I will get that answer to you.
okay. So looking under, so the third quarter amended budget, I see 48,343 for professional services.
what?
Is like, what exactly is that going for? Professional services under the expenditures and transfers out first item,
Yes, I believe that's of the staff costs.
the staff
But I will
costs.
confirm that.
Right, okay, cool. So so under the second section, general fund administrative for 91,558, does that staff cost too, or is that something different?
I do apologize, I have to ask
Okay,
that question.
all right, so,
I know there's a lot of, I apologize. I can, if
No
you
worries.
like, I can have a breakdown email to you guys tomorrow with all,
could you please?
with what
What these
each
things
one
mean?
is, yes.
Yeah, because again, I mean, as time goes on, I think these numbers are going to be more and more important to be sure that we're paying attention to what's coming in and what's going out, like as a body.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to be sure that we all have clarity on, what all these things mean, just to have it, right?
So if I can just, professional services, I starred general fund administrative, I starred
Yeah,
housing county, I starred,
mobility county,
and mobilities county.
yeah.
Those are the three I started. Is there any other ones that the board may have questions regarding? And I do apologize, this was an urge that just came up.
No, all good, all good. Economic development city, because again, in my mind, I see city, economic development, general administrative, professional services. I mean, ultimately, on the surface, it all sounds like the same thing, or it could be the same thing. Do you
Yes.
see what I'm going?
Yep, 100%.
Those are the biggest things that we're jumping out at.
Like I said, I just don't want to give misinformation, but I will have that information to you tomorrow.
No worries, all good. So we'll look out for your email on that.
Anything else? So just, I just want to confirm one more time. I have professional services, general fund administrative, housing county, and mobility county, and economic development.
Yes, before. Those are the biggest things. So going on to the second page, right? So we're looking at the community redevelopment agency. So the overall third quarter budget review for fiscal year, right? So as I'm looking at this, I'm seeing, let's say, first line item, residential improvement program. So, okay, we have the budget approved, proposed amendment, so that's money that's coming, that's rolled over, right?
Yes.
Project to date, so that's the money that has actually been handed out for the residents of North Greenwood, correct?
I believe that's approved. It may not mean that they actually have been received it, but it's a TIA that has been approved.
It's been approved. Okay, so the second column, the open income. So is that money that's pending? Like, what does that mean? Do you know?
I always get it backwards. I do apologize. I should know this.
All good.
It's backwards or forwards. So I'll find that out for each part, but I always mix it up. Encumbered means that it's either one that has been used, hasn't spent out. I believe it's the 84 that has been spent, and it's 42 that is still encumbered. But I will definitely get that information for you tomorrow.
Gotcha. And then, of course, the available balance is just the total that's still there, that's
Correct.
budgeted for the amount that hasn't been spent and or earmarked for anyone whatsoever.
And for residential, I can actually tell you, I've been just doing 6 grants right now
Yeah.
as we speak. So they're moving.
Okay. All right, cool.
That number is going to move in, very quickly.
Okay. Now, and of course, the same thing, the same questions apply to the business improvement, and I see the available balance there. So my question is, I mean, again, because there's budget there, and recognizing that the current business improvement program is primarily meant for not only businesses that are located within North Greenwood, but actual property owners.
Correct.
Correct.
As long as they have a business going in there. Yes.
Correct. Now, because of the budget amount that's remaining,
Mhm.
at what point do we maybe take a look and see, does it make sense to maybe make an adjustment to where it's not just business owners that have a physical building, but maybe business with certain parameters, of course, businesses that are located in the community that may not have an actual building that needs a community.
So I can take that and turn that back to our staff team and I'll review it. Yes, sir.
Okay, because I'm also thinking in terms of, let's say, the container project that's about to get going, and helping to create businesses to, fill some of those spaces, right? So if we have people in the community that want to start businesses, maybe there could be like a small business grant program. They don't own a business, but to maybe give them a grant to help get their business rolling that could be used for marketing, advertising, supplies, cost of goods, whatever the case may be, right? I think that will probably be a worthy use of money, even though they don't have a business. They don't have a building, they have a business that's going to help attract people to the community. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So we'll get those clarifications and more questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I got. Any other?
My thing is, I would really appreciate it having more time to look over this before today. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
I
So,
don't think it really provided us enough time to go through this. Thank you, Kennard, for going through what you did. It didn't work for my timeline. So.
absolutely. So Vicky, maybe if there's a possibility to maybe send out, moving forward, sending out any sort of budget documents, whether it be a P&L or what have you. Best case scenario, what would you say, like a week in advance?
All at least, yeah.
At least a week in advance?
They don't always get a week is, yeah.
Week?
I'll wait. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I mean, if we could do 2 weeks, cool. I mean, but I would say at least 2 weeks to give everybody a chance to review it, digest it.
Okay.
Because again, I just want to be sure that everybody has the ability to understand what the numbers mean and where money's coming in from, what money's going out, so that way we can be as responsible, as fiscally responsible as possible.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Any other thoughts? Any other questions? Nope. All right. So moving on to the 2025-2026 budget. Now, Vicky, here's a question for you. I know that we're supposed to vote on the approval of the budget, but considering the fact that we still have some outstanding questions, does the budget have to be voted on and approved tonight, or is it something that we can table? Well, no, because our next meeting won't be till November.
Correct. And your board is a body recommending board. So if you if you want, it's okay. I'll have Ann follow up an email tomorrow with
Okay.
the best way to do this is. I'm not exactly sure if, I know you guys all can't respond together on my email, but maybe it's something that you guys we can send this back out again and have you guys respond individually with any questions or such. And we can answer it, and then we can move forward with that.
Yeah, because I mean, I know that ultimately this is going to city council, right? So,
Correct, yes, sir.
but I also want to make sure that they know that we know
Right.
what we're looking at, and we
Right.
are, if we're making a recommendation, it's because we all fully understand.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
Have you guys taken a look at the actual budget? Because that's the amendments, but the next 25, 26 fiscal year is a little bit different thing. And it does explain it a little bit more. So if it's okay.
well, I mean, the biggest thing that jumped out at me jumping out here, so looking at the approved budget for 2025, 2026, I see Pinellas County 478,753, and then Housing County, Mobility County, that totals that amount, so it's a wash, right?
Can you go back and introduce the guy?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Thank you.
So, item number, so this is 2025, 2026 North Greenwood redevelopment area budget. You want the actual number from the?
That's fine. No, I just needed
Okay.
you to say what we're saying.
Okay.
Talking
All right.
about.
My apologies.
We moved over to the next one, which I
I
understand.
just jumped right in.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I completely understand.
So yeah, the 2025, 2026 budget. So looking at the second column under the approved budget, the Pinellas County coming in 478,753. Transfers out, I see Housing County 200,000, Mobility County 278,753. So I mean that's a wash. So like the money's coming in, the money's going out.
Correct.
Which I also still think is interesting, but okay, I mean, the county's paying for it, the county's paying for it, it just needs to come in and come out. Professional services, general fund administrative. I think I like it about. Subscription, supplies. So the advertising, so that's the question. So what exactly was advertising mean? Who's doing advertising? Is that advertising the North Carolina community? Is that the advertising of the events that are happening in the community? Like what?
It's the way we advertise the different appointments, either project plans or example for our meetings and stuff too.
Okay. Because I also think it's interesting under advertising, the 2024, 2025 third quarter was $5,000, but the entire approved for next year is $2,500.
At least as we started spend is
Okay.
and such.
So that was just a budget adjustment. Didn't spend the $5,000, so for next year we're going to drop the $2,500 because that wasn't spent.
Yes. Actually, like I said, I'm happy to get these questions at the end.
I see.
Unfortunately, family emergencies come up.
All good. Listen, I'm not upset at all. This just real questions come up.
Yes.
So again, we will look out for the email for you again. Anybody else have any other questions?
I know we're just we're a recommendation, we give our recommendation, but we want to show that we've done our due diligence.
Yes.
So we need to, one, get the information in a timely manner. I know you all are working with, a crew that's not, you don't have like 100 people in your department, but that helps. And we can't do that if we don't have enough time to review all the information and be able to competently comment and have a recommendation.
I one question, and
Sure.
and I feel like I should, listing, kind of embarrassed, but how under the administrator, what positions or how many staff are fall into that?
It's a percentage of our salaries that work with it. Like each of us work a percentage with North Greenwood CAC, so it's a percentage of the people that are within our department. So you have Tasha, myself, you have these you have Ann, you have a new staff person we'll introduce later, same we're introducing Brian. So it's kind of for the percent for sure.
Okay.
You're,
One other thing, with the on the advertising, you mentioned what question was about why it was 2,500 and then 5,000. So I'm just wondering, is it just because there wasn't? I mean, why do you think it was so? Why was the increase? Because you recognize we need to do more advertising, or just
I believe so. That's
Okay.
even that's what Anna was thinking.
Gotcha. I mean, I would think so too, so I think that's a good thing. So, that's good.
Thank you.
Well, another thing I went back to look at, so looking back at 2024, 2025, under revenue expenditures to date, there's nothing in the advertising space.
Correct. But I wish I could answer that question. I know, I'm sorry. It was words that came up. I wish I could answer more questions for you guys.
All good.
But I'm answering.
All good. Okay. Valid answers will be coming.
Yes. I will make sure and listens to this and responds to every question.
So taking a look at the 6-year, the 6-year projection for the overall budget. I'm not sure if it's hard to the next stage after.
That's me.
Yeah. So these are just based off of the projections of, what's expected to potentially come in from TIF funds, et cetera, correct?
Yes. Through county and cities.
Which I. So like even here, I mean, regular operating versus general fund admin, right? Sounds like the same thing to me. And I'm sure you don't have the answer right now, but just again, just calling it out. Like, what's the difference between regular operating and admin?
The thing is, I kind of know what I'm not going to sit here and
That's
say.
fair.
If I'm
No.
not completely 100% sure because it's on record. If I say it the wrong thing, then I don't want to give misinformation.
Totally understand.
So it shouldn't be, that's why we shouldn't really be,
I feel bad. I'm really
Okay.
concerned.
Yes.
I don't want to waste the board's time or. Good thinking. Well, thing is, if they're with the board, I'll have answer on a summary tomorrow via email.
Okay.
Then I'll be with some of these questions.
That's right. What it is. All right. I think I'm good, right? Like, any other thoughts or questions? So we just hold for now until Ed sends out the email that maybe we can approve via email. Is that a possibility?
If you want to,
I would feel more
if the chair would like
comfortable
to present
doing
that idea and
Yeah.
it's on record and I can see if it's okay with the endings.
Yeah, so as chair, I propose that we hold off on the approval for the 2025-2026 budget until we get further clarification from hand. Just so that way, again, we are able to make the decision with clear information.
And is it okay, Chair, and if you guys do it at the meantime by email saying that your
Yeah.
recommendation is to.
Yeah. A vote by email, I think is acceptable. Okay.
And I appreciate your patience and kindness during this time.
All good. Listen.
I should have been better, but like I said, last minute, and I should have been actually a different meeting.
Oh, no worries. I mean, as I called out early on, I mean, you being by yourself was definitely surprising. So understanding things happen, and of course, in this particular situation, you don't have all the answers, but that's okay. And I'm glad that you, rather than try to just give an answer because of the culprit of the situation, that you were holding off to gain clarity from some of the other people on the team. So I'm perfectly okay with that, and because as long as we get the answers and we're able to make the necessary decision, I'm big on that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So with us holding off, we'll go ahead and we'll move on to the next item of the agenda. So the CRA updates, and with Ann not being here, so the updates fully completed.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And I actually forgot some updates. Nice. I can answer these questions.
All right, sounds good.
First off, I'd like to, with lots of happiness and pride and excitement, to introduce our new staff person. Ramona Hunter, would you like to tell us a little about yourself?
I don't have all the answers.
And I didn't hear the name.
Ramona Hunter.
Ramona Hunter. Okay, thank you. Yes, nice to meet you.
It is a pleasure to be here today with each of you. I have a background in banking for I won't tell you how many years, but I'll just let you figure it out. And I was the previous branch manager for a few years, and I went into the mortgage industry for the last 10 years. And I am very involved in my community, and I serve on a couple of boards in St. Pete. People is our passion, and we want to make sure we really reflect when it comes to people part of the business. We probably all had family members that grew up in the area that have made it successful, and that's my mission, is to make sure the CRA areas are successful and that we become successful in Greenwood. And that's been a pleasure to me. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Richard Hartman to provide information on active transportation plan.
You too.
This is from PSTA.
No, this is from City of Clearwater.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this up here. Again, I'm Richard Hartman, transportation planner. Gloria is a member of our advisory committee. Yes.
Just a quick question. Could you maybe pull one of the chairs around where you're standing?
Sure.
Yeah. Or something.
Or even if you put it up on that, table over there, and you go on a little bit.
Blocks.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Thank you for that.
I was going to say that.
Okay. But here, the active transportation plan, last November, City Council approved us moving forward creating an active transportation plan, which is basically planning for people who use human power, human energy to travel, to get where they need to go, whether it's to stores, school, work, transit, even to the car. There used to be a saying, everybody walks. FDOT loves saying everybody walks, because even when you drive, you still have to walk. I'm going to hand out just a few details. So where we are right now is we have been spending the last 6 months looking at the existing conditions in Clearwater. We have a survey, and that is what the top page shows you. And for the audience, if you like these, I have extras over here. But the top was the survey. This was the flyer that we posted here in the rec centers, and it had the QR code, and we collected survey on what people thought were the issues on our streets and roads. You know, Florida has a very notorious reputation, and data shows well-deserved for the last 25 years or more as having the highest rate, or one of the highest rates, for pedestrian and bicycle crashes and fatalities. The last bicycle pedestrian plan for the city was 2006. It was called Shifting Gears. It was still a good plan, but we wanted to update it, especially when you talk about e-bikes, these motorized scooters, all different forms of travel that are coming, shared cars, all the deliveries. All those have to be accounted for because they impact where you walk and where you ride and how you drive as well. So we have the QR code, and we gathered information from people on a map, and this is an example of these different types of facilities. What a key factor is level of stress. Approximately 60% of bicyclists or people who would ride a bicycle don't, because they don't feel safe. And that's stress. It may be safe, but in your mind, if it's not, you're not going to go ride in a bike lane, or you're not going to walk on a broken up sidewalk. So we want to locate improvements and create a network connecting roads that have low stress, that are friendly for people to bicycle, to walk, to get where they need to go. as a choice or by necessity. A lot of people, 20% of the population in the city do not own cars. And so there are a lot of people who ride transit and get around, ride with other people. So where we are now is we've spent the months, we had the survey, we had public meetings, we have an advisory committee of staff people, we have a stakeholders committee of which Gloria is a member, of different business owners and people who represent the community. And now we're going into phase 2. We went to the council, and these are an example where people came and they put dots whether they feel safe or not safe, under what type of facility. And the key, the common factor is, I don't want to be in the street. Let's get up on the sidewalks, let's build urban trails, 8 to 12 foot wide sidewalks. Not just the Pinellas Trail, but the Greenwood Trail is an example of an urban trail. People feel a lot safer, and if they feel safer, they're going to use it. They're going to at least try it out. And that's what we want. More people walking and biking means more visibility, and drivers will start paying attention, hopefully. It's been shown that is the outcome, but we always just say hopefully. So now we're going to the next one. We're going to phase 2, which is connecting Clearwater. And this will be a sign. We're going to have yard signs at all the rec centers. We're going to have some staff put up flyers in some visible places. We're going to have yard signs along the Pinellas Trail, the Ring Wilson Trail, and at the rec centers and other places where people are going to have, they're going to stop and take notice. You don't want them just riding by and saying something and not having paying attention. We did have a QR code on the first flyer. We're not having a QR code. So we're only going to have a website on the signage, on the yard signs. The reason for that is former Pinellas, which is our regional transportation board for the county, they had QR codes on yard signs a couple of years ago, and some people came along and they put fake QR codes over the top. Well, they weren't fake, they were real. They took them to a paid for site.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I heard that. I know that. I've seen it. Yeah, so we're gonna stick to just, we have, and we have an active transportation plan on the city page. We have the website, we have the link to the survey up there. And then the third one, this is a survey. And this shows you intersections. It's got different GIS layers. And these are these projects. We're trying to develop a list of about 50 priority projects throughout the city, a combination of corridors and intersections. Because so many of the crashes happen in the intersections or the crossings and everything. So we've separated them out. But we're trying to build a network where you can connect it so you don't get to ride down on a bike lane 5 blocks and have the bike lane end or a good sidewalk at the sidewalk ends. We don't want that. So we're looking at low volume, low speed roads where we can make improvements that'll connect it and connect people also to their destinations. I mean, North Greenwood. I've talked to Jesus a lot since he came on board and I came on board about how we can connect over to the North Marina and connect to your transit facilities and your cultural and historic destinations here, and improve the wayfinding and signage, get people here, get it more activated, and not just have North Greenwood be only known to people who live in North Greenwood. So, there's a lot of talk with transportation about Douglas Avenue coming down from the north side. There's so much potential and everything. So we're all working in tandem. But this survey is to show you where we have identified what our problem corridors, problem intersections, and where connected a network could be. And we want people to give us your feedback on that. So the survey will ask you, put a marker there. Is it a bike lane, or is it a bike facility, or is it a sidewalk that you think should be there? Is that a good place for something? Is there something that we're missing? And that's important. This is a fairly large city. Geographically, it's funky. When you talk to people down at Lake Bellevue, and then you're talking about something countryside, it's a whole different kind of context in the neighborhoods. We need you to tell us, where are we missing the boat where we're looking at these things? Palmetto, Benny Lane, important streets, Hercules. We know we need more good east-west connections and everything. So you can't just rely on the Pinellas Trail and say, oh, that solves all your problems. Because then just get to, one way in one direction and everything. So if you would look at this, we're going to have an overview like a restaurant in Socket on Friday, but it's going to kick off for real on Monday. That's when we're going to get it out there. But it should be up and running on Friday. You can go in there, write all you want, put all the markers you want, and I always recommend it. Don't try to do it on your phone if you can help it. Could be my eyes. That's or my skill. I do my phone that big. You get everything. But a laptop's a lot easier than an iPad or something like that. A lot easier to work with the Mac. But it does have the entire section there. We're going to be doing outreach, public events. I'm going to go to the market parade. And so if you or an organization or a group have some event you want me to come and give it a little spiel like this to, hand out, put up a couple easels, some boards showing the maps, and try to get people to inform but also participate. That's what we're really looking for. The schedule is for us to complete the plan by late November. We're going to have 10 priority projects approximately where we have initial engineered concepts drawn up. Because the last thing we want to have happen is do a plan that sits in a notebook, looks really pretty, and then has to be dusted in a few months. And we don't want that. So we want something that engineering can take immediately and start working from. Some designs, enhanced crosswalks and different signalizations and things like that. So we're keeping it broad, but we need your help. So we don't want to overlook something and then have people say, well, this is so obvious. So that's another reason we're asking, we need the public. You can't do it without the public. Because then you don't have people who bought in and you're committed. So that's where we stand now. We'll have the priority projects selected, the 10 concept plans, and the plan has to be drawn up by November because it takes 6 weeks. You submit it into this beautiful thing called Legistar, which is where ordinances go and everything, but it's got to be about 6 weeks before the council meeting. Then we plan on going to the council at the beginning of February. Be happy. Would enjoy it. Feedbacks, questions, anything?
Oops.
I did want to come back to this because this QR code, because we're so thirsty, we're using the same flyers with these same QR code. We're just switching our public communications department is just changing the connection to the new survey. So this is valid.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I encourage your mind. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, yes.
Anything?
Yeah, Member
Yes, sir.
So the board with the 11 pictures, what did the different dots represent here? Safe and unsafe and something in the middle?
Yeah, it was actually walking or biking were separate items. So the red dots were for those who are not comfortable biking, and the orange dots were not comfortable walking. And it's surprising. What we're trying to do, we're using as a parameter, is called level of traffic stress. It's an actual thing. For years, for roads, since everything was designed about vehicles, it was called level of service. How many cars can you get through in a given amount of time. Now we use level of traffic stress for bicycling and for walking because they have overlapping, whether you're stressed out on one, you're stressed out on the other. They're different types of facilities, but they do have database, science-based data on what creates a stressful street. And it is. It's high speeds, heavy volumes of cars going by, distance. So even a 1 foot striped grass buffer between the sidewalk, you have the 4 foot or 5 foot sidewalk, and you have a 1 foot strip grass buffer from the curb. That greatly reduces the not greatly, but it does have a reduction in the traffic stress flooding.
But what does the blue represent?
The blue, where you're comfortable biking.
Oh, blue dots.
Yeah, so, everybody's, the Pinellas Trail, except at the intersections,
Right.
some intersections, is a very nice, comfortable place to ride.
That's it.
After our law enforcement day, though, a few months ago, you know what? What do you think the number one complaint was on the Pinellas Trail?
Finance.
Yes, but there was something on top of that. The kids that are wearing full motorcycle leather and helmets that are on what they call peg bikes, are bicycles at all. They're just small, compact motorcycles that are doing 25, 30 miles an hour. And they were caught intimidating people too, like doing wheelies and things like that. Yeah, I've been passed. I'm working off State Road 580 now, temporarily, up there by Countryside, and I've been doing 35 on State Road 580, and I've been passed by a couple kids on the sidewalk. So, yeah, so that's a big thing. But right now, the state of Florida and the Pinellas law enforcement is looking at changing statutes. They're making statutes so that they can separate out certain types of usage and certain power, certain amount of like 700 cc's. Yeah. So, we have the laws trying to catch up with the technology. But the e-bikes, because so often, even though they have pedal assisted, I always watch it. Are they pedaling ever? Yeah. And it's kind of weird. They're like the little e-scooters where the only time you pedal or you use your foot is to jump on it once you're going. And you're like, yeah.
So I do have a question going back to stress, as you called it.
Yes.
So I don't know the particulars behind it, whether it's the rules or laws around bicycles on sidewalks and having bike lanes, but I mean, I can think about, let's say, certain sections of MLK here, or even worse, certain sections of Drew Street over here. It gets pretty tight.
Yeah.
Right. So just traffic alone, and then of course, if you have somebody walking or riding a bike, then it can get a little dicey.
Right.
So how are those situations handled, or how could they potentially be handled through a project like this?
What we do is we try to identify what are called sometimes neighborhood greenways. And because of the suburban design of our communities, you'll see some beautiful low volume neighborhood streets and everything, but they all end up where you have to jump on a major street or cross a major street to get into another neighborhood. We're trying to find connected patterns to connect those neighborhood greenways where we might use what they call sharrows, which are shared use markings. So it tells the driver and the bicyclist, you need to share this road. And the streets that you're talking about, like Drew and such, we had a plan, but the city council has moved in a different direction. So sometimes there used to be a way to reduce the lane width, and we still look at that on some streets, so you can widen the bike lane or put in a buffered bike lane, because paint doesn't do it, just paint. So what a lot of places are doing, instead of going to a wider bike lane, they're using a foot to 2 feet and putting in what they call armadillos, which are little curves, and then they have a flexi post, and you get a vertical separation between the traffic and the bike lane. And we're going to be trying that down on Drew Street. FDOT has got that for a 2-way bike lane from Osceola to Myrtle. That is what's in their design that they're proposing. So that will connect the Pinellas Trail to downtown Cleveland and to going down to the waterfront, Bayfront, the Coachman Park area as well. So that will be on the north side. So it'll be connecting to the Pinellas Trail on the north side of Drew as well. But there are a lot of different things you can do. But the big thing is, if you have to have it in the travel lane, you want to try to protect it if you can. There's a 3-foot move over law, and so FDOT at one time had a 4-foot bike lane was the minimum size for a real bike lane. Not anything under that. And then they said, oh, you have the 3-foot move over. It's like, so what they did about 12 years ago is they recommended, hey, just make it a 7-foot wide, make it a 5-foot wide bike lane with a 2-foot painted buffer, because if it's 4 feet plus a 3-foot move over, it's got to be 7 feet anyway. Let's just strike it that way. That has passed by. It wasn't effective because we're talking a matter of 2 seconds at some of those speeds at 40, 45 miles an hour before, if the driver goes over, you're only gaining an extra second or so before your crash or your incident happens.
Thank you.
Sure.
My last question is, this QR code will take us as of Friday or Monday?
Friday.
Okay,
Friday.
That's all I needed to.
You got did they give me my card?
I didn't get a card. I got the QR code though.
Yeah, this is, if you have a complaint, this is your complaint department.
Thank you.
What do you have?
Thanks, sir.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Hart.
Same thing. Yeah, I've got some cards on the table back there. If anybody wants to call me if any questions or ideas, comments, don't get out my desk and go check something out. Yeah. Put aside time to get there whenever you're soft.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And just one more quick update. Natasha Hadley wanted to present some information on the Business Spotlight program. I would be really quick.
Yeah. So we're having the Business Spotlight program expanded. This is a model from our Business Spotlight program that we had in downtown Clearwater, where we highlighted 7 businesses and we gave them pre-promotional material, which is video, flyers, an interview, an article for our website. Now we feature for a whole month on our website and on our CRA channel. And this is just providing marketing material for businesses. So we are now expanding into North Greenwood, and we're having a legacy program. So these are for businesses that's been around for 10+ years. And so, we want to highlight these North Greenwood CRA businesses. And I know there's been some open recently, some that's been here for years. And so I have applications with me, and I would love to just spread out the applications, especially for you guys. If you know any businesses in the area, please help spread the word and get them to fill them out, and I will come by personally and pick them up, so it just makes less work for everyone. There you go. And if you're into business about the next year and crowd, that's the thing I work through one district and applications get to come. So, any questions?
Nice, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is all the CRA updates.
There you go. Nice. So, okay. Well, thank you very much. Definitely appreciate it. So moving on to the next agenda item, which is opening up to the committee. Are there any items that you would like to bring forward?
No, right.
Has a closing remark here. I do have some closing remarks. First, I want to say, Ms. Hunter, just so glad to have you. The city, your credentials were like off the charts, so thank you. Just looking forward to working with you and all of your talents that you bring to this position. We need that kind of skill set and talent. So thank you again. We appreciate you being here. Pleasure. I don't mean to imply that the rest are not great, but thank you. I appreciate it. I thought I better say that. I don't want to get in trouble later. Vicki called me and said, "What you mean by that?" Okay. Anyway, nonetheless, just wanted to make mention of an annual event that we have each year. Most of you in here probably know about it. It's the annual Community Family Fun Night. This year we will celebrate our 11th year. And it's going to be right across the street there at the football field, at the Buccaneer Field. We're drawing like thousands of people to this event. Everything is free. The event is going to, you'll see it on social media. There's going to be a lot of advertising going on other places as well. Also, what I want to talk about with this, though, is the fact that what we do is we draw people with the fun. The fun draws people, but it's the information that they get, that they take home with them when they leave. We have a lot of things going on in this community, especially with the CRA, the Container Project coming, just a lot of things that people may not necessarily know about. We are very blessed to have an amazing business owner who does the video walls, and we use that video wall to do advertising. We even have some videos that have been submitted by some of our key sponsors, and just things that we want to make certain that our community knows is important to them, things that are going on. So we draw them with all the fun, and let me just, for anybody who doesn't know, this year, things have just been going so wonderful. I don't even know where to start. Let me just say, this is going to be one of probably the best years yet. And we've been doing this now 10 years. This is the 11th year. And so just encourage everybody to come out. Again, everything is free. And I do have the hard copy flyers that I will have. Well, thank you so much. If you can give everybody one, and there's some out in the lobby too. They have them out there too. Thank you so much. And so other than that, just looking forward to getting more information on that area that we didn't, so I can do what I'm supposed to do. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Oh, you can keep those. I have 2,000 in the car. Yeah, I got you. Thank you. Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, go. Thank you so very much. I'm sorry.
I will mention this. So my term is ending. This is my last day as a committee member, and I just wanted to say thank you to fellow committee members, and especially thank you to Vicki. She keeps us so well informed, educated, and complete. I've enjoyed my time. We'd like to say my great show, Shepherd. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Definitely appreciate it. Awesome. Well, with no other,
Not good. But we'll see.
with no other comments from the committee, can I have a motion towards it?
I make a motion that we adjourn the Citizens Advisory Committee of North Greenwood.
Awesome. Thank you. It's done properly. Motion is by member Turman. Can I have a second? Seconded by member Crawford. And what did you want to adjourn it? 6:38. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.